Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenan, and welcome to Wrestling is Awesome. It's a bunch of people here talking everything WWE. So we are a weekly podcast. We record every Tuesday evening at 8:45 p.m. So we go live out on YouTube, and we're on Facebook at the moment as well. And so this is an interactive podcast. So if you get into the chat on whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or on TikTok, we'll interact with you. You'll be a part of the show. And at the end of it, I take that recording, edit it, put it into an actual podcast, which goes out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, anywhere you get your podcasts. So if you're here and joining us, thank you very much. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. If you're joining us on TikTok, make sure you hit that follow, that little plus icon. It would really support us, and that'd be fantastic. So let me introduce you to my guest today. He has been absent for a period, and so welcoming back Alex to the show. How are you doing?
I am all good. Yes, I've been away, and since I've been away, it feels like the quality of WWE has dropped through the floor. Apart from Raw this week was actually quite good. But in general, it's been quite bad. Yes, no, I've been racing and doing all sorts of different things and been away. And then I'm away again because I'm going away with work. So I'm going to miss another 2 weeks. So sorry.
Okay, well, thank you for your special guest appearance this week. Much appreciated. And welcome me back. Brido, how are you doing? Very evil, very nice.
Yeah, very evil, very nice. I'm good, guys. I'm glad to be back again. Yeah, I probably agree with Alex, although the standard has probably went down a bit. I am really enjoying Raw, so I'm happy to talk about Raw. I would like to emphasise Raw. That's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. That is pretty fair. And welcoming back once again, who is now a regular on this show, Lolly. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, well, good. I've missed a couple of weeks, but I am back and ready to talk about SmackDown and Raw, which I literally caught up on both this afternoon, so we'll see how good my memory is.
Well, don't worry, I'm here to help. I have my notes. Yeah, but like I said, we are live. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. If you go to either Wrestling is Awesome or at Creative Control, which is my movie podcast, you can find us on either of those platforms. And we are here on TikTok too. So make sure you get in the comments, give us your thoughts, opinions, talk to us, and we'll talk about it in the show. Right, guys. So I think, although it wasn't the greatest episode, I think where we need to start is SmackDown. Take a deep breath. Okay, so as a recap, so either if those who haven't seen it, or if you guys just blocked it out of your memory, the voices in Randy's head, that's been the talk over the last few weeks. He's been having those phone calls, and it's like, who is at the end of the phone? We started thinking about what wrestlers are out there that could be making a return. We knew it wasn't going to be Ted DiBiase. That was just not going to happen. Ric Flair, was that a possibility? Not really. Not going to trust him around anything WWE these days, and based on his recent Instagram post, there is more to that. And yeah, it turned out to be Pat McAfee. Yay. Yeah, so Pat turned heel. He came into the ring and swiftly kicked Cody in the nuts. He said he thought the show that he watched when he was a kid was now shit. He spoke about the forgotten Attitude Era fan, and tickets for WrestleMania were still available despite Randy Orton still being around. That WWE had come back off the worst rated episode of SmackDown of all time until this week, and that Cody was a puppet champion, and there was everything wrong about WWE, and that Orton was going to save the business. So I didn't disagree too much with what he said, but it's Pat McAfee. It made zero sense, and this is a personal feud between Cody and Randy, which didn't need this. It's built on like 20 years of history. However, this apparently was not a Triple H or WWE creative decision. Apparently this came from above. This was a TKO thing that they were like, we want to get a celebrity involved. Pretty much like what they did last year. So apparently they reached out to Pat. He said no at first. They've tried to source somebody else. Didn't happen. Then they made a deal with him and he's back. So yeah, this is apparently not a Triple H thing. So I don't know how much we'll take of that. We'll have to see when the next season of Unreal comes out to see actually what conversations took place. But yeah, that happened this week. So what do you want to talk about? Where do we start? Alex, you're itching. Go on.
So Controversially, it was a good promo.
Yeah, it kind of
It was a good promo. Just a good promo by the wrong person. And I don't know who it should have been, but it certainly shouldn't have fucking been Pat Bloody McAfee. Because he's the nice, friendly, nuts, little bit weird announcer that we like.
Yes.
And I like him as that. You know, when he decides to turn up and he sits alongside Michael Cole, he's great, and I love that.
Yeah.
He's not a heel to try and be like had a very like trying to be the NWO feel to it. There was a feel to that there, and I'm like, no. You are not Scott Hall or Kevin Nash. It doesn't work. So that was the thing. I mean, there was the whole thing about 2 5'5" guys doing an Iron Man match. That
every week for 10 weeks. That hasn't happened.
That didn't make any sense. Annoyingly, I did hear a stat when the last Iron Man match was, and it was 2 big guys, so it completely kills that argument. But that was probably just something off the cuff of him basically saying 2 small people that don't matter having too many matches.
The US champions every week, basically, or like Penta's match every week, or something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
But they are the best matches of the night, so.
They absolutely are. So that's the whole, that was my whole mixed attitude and everything, which was, it was a good promo. He didn't tell many lies. It just shouldn't have been Pat. And listen, I don't think the person on the phone is Pat. I still think it's somebody else. People say The Rock. I don't think it's The Rock. I still think there's somebody else higher arching. There is a third man. God, I hope so. I really, really hope so that it's not just Pat McAfee and Randy Orton, because that's a shit team.
It is. Brido, how do you feel this speaks to Randy's character? Because it feels like Randy needs help. And it's like, that isn't Randy.
No, it didn't enhance anything. Pat McAfee didn't enhance anything. And again, the words weren't particularly... I mean, some of them didn't make any sense, like the Iron Man part, but it really just didn't add anything to it. Randy Orton doesn't need Pat McAfee. I mean, Randy Orton on his best day really doesn't need anybody nowadays, but he certainly doesn't need Pat McAfee. I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And we're talking about the celebrity involvement thing. Yeah, that worked great last year, didn't it? That was fantastic. Travis Scott taking 6 hours to get to the ring, and honestly, I don't get it. They're shoehorning in things. I don't mind celebrity involvement at a certain stage. Keep it away from title matches, keep it away from other stuff like that. You can use celebrities to enhance the product without going too crazy with it. We're talking about 2 really experienced wrestlers here, and Cody and Randy as well. We've talked about the history of them as well. It's well documented. If they were going to bring anybody into this, it had to be the right person. Personally, it was the wrong one. I don't mean to be negative on this, because again, I am still really looking forward to WrestleMania, but it just didn't bring anything forward to me. I didn't like it. I don't see me enjoying anything Pat McAfee's really getting involved in, unless it's commentary. That's about it. I don't see any place for him in ring.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a bad match against Gunther, and I guess they probably felt, look, if we're going to get somebody in that can push ticket sales, he has his show. He does some of the little live events like around the period as well, where he can really get people on board. I suppose it's a safe pair of hands where he's familiar with the product and he knows how to do it. So to bring someone in quite last minute, and maybe they're thinking that works for us. But Lolly, how did it go down with you?
Well, so Cody and Randy were good, and he was there as far as I'm concerned. But also, it just felt a bit like he's trying to be Paul Heyman, and we've already got Paul Heyman. It's like almost the exact same kind of, felt like the wise man kind of shtick. And I don't think Randy needs it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But to Alex's point about there potentially still being somebody behind the scenes, I'm hoping it's Shane O'Mac. I want it to be Shane O'Mac. You know, because you had Stephanie McMahon coming back into the ring. You've got Triple H getting involved. Why would it not be Shane O'Mac? Here comes the money.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been more interesting if it was Steph, because of the history. there with the business. I don't know. It's a tricky one. For me, again, like we said, it's not needed. I love the fact that when they recapped it on Raw, they were putting all these like quotes from people online going, Pat, oh my God, WTF. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is an amazing moment. They're like, no, what the actual fuck is going on? It's just like, what are you doing? But yeah, they tried to make it something amazing. But yeah, really badly rated episode of SmackDown. I'm not sure. The crowd, I think when you're in a live environment, you cheer for the unexpected. So I think, when you're watching at home, it is a different environment. If you're there and you've been there watching the product for, 2 hours, 40 minutes, and, something like that happens, you're going to cheer for the appearance. You're going to cheer for the turn. You don't realize necessarily what's happening. And some of that speaks to like when the US Championship match happened last week. There's some cheers for Sammy. But then this week it was very different because people were like, no. We cheered because there's a title change and something happened, but actually we're not really happy about it. Alex, did you have another point that you wanted to make on
Was
Orton?
there a cheer for Sammy winning the title?
There was
I haven't heard a cheer for Sammy in quite a long time.
There was some small cheers. You could see the fans. There was a few fans were cheering.
Kids.
Yeah, and but I don't know whether they piped in some more cheers after they did the original edit. Apparently they've been they changed something, I think, between Brock and Oba from last week, where the chant was one thing from the crowd and they changed it to something else because they were swearing by the crowd. So they do alter things after the fact. So yeah, they may have done a switch there. Okay, well, I guess the other big thing that happened this week was the CM Punk pipe bomb. So Punk opened the show on Raw, which was a nice change of pace. Because pipe down, Alex, stay muted. It was a nice change of pace. They didn't close out the show, and it really got the energy levels up on the show. And I thought it was a really good promo. It did feel off the cuff, and it re-engaged me a little bit into this match. And I think it speaks volumes of where WWE see the talent at the moment, because Randy and Cody are on night 1, where Punk and Roman are closing out on night 2. So that is going to be our final match. But Punk called him a Nepo baby. He said he ate dog food for a crazy old man. He called out Pat McAfee on his attitude towards the business. He's going to get some receipts. And he told the business to lower ticket prices, which definitely seems to be a thing. I keep getting appealed on TikTok. Apparently my behavior is not in line with the policies, so my gifting has been suspended. Not that anybody gives me gifts anyway. But anyway, coming back, Lolly, as a CM Punk fan, how did you enjoy or not enjoy this promo?
Oh, I absolutely enjoyed the promo. I thought it was great. Obviously, I missed his original pipe bomb.
Yes, you weren't watching at that time.
I wasn't watching at that time, so this is kind of like, I don't know, pipe bomb the return. And I really enjoyed it. It felt like he had a lot of conviction in what he was saying. And yeah, I thought it was great, to be honest. I think people are going to disagree with me on this, I know. But I think he is so much better on mic than Roman Reigns by a country mile. A country mile. And to me, he's carrying this whole storyline to WrestleMania on his back, along with everything else, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Alex is going to disagree with me.
Yeah, you wash your mouth out and acknowledge your tribal chief.
I feel Roman got the better of the second face-to-face, I think. But overall, Punk says a lot more. Let's be honest. Roman's a little bit more calculated. He doesn't shut up, does he? Roman's a little bit more calculated in what he does say. For me, the stuff that Roman up to this point has hit harder in terms of what he feels and what he means. Because Punk was a little bit more over the place. He just kept talking about his family and he needed help. This was more personal now against Roman, and I felt that a lot more. So that's why I enjoyed this one a lot more. And again, I'm just glad it didn't just revert back to them, pounding on each other. Brido, how did you feel about the pipe bomb?
Unmute. There we go. I really enjoyed it. Again, one of my main pet peeves is we're going into WrestleMania and Roman's not there again. I have major issues with big stars and not just Roman. If you're going to be part-time, you can be used in different ways. It doesn't have to be inserted into the main title. Again, he's not there though, so Punk has no choice but to try and carry it on his own. He's got to try and push it, and he did do that in my opinion. I thought it was a lot more raw than his stuff previously.
Yeah.
And it was laced with kind of a little bit more venom for me. I enjoyed it because it wasn't just aimed at Roman. There was the stuff with Pat McAfee. There was the kind of TKO hits and things like that as well. It worked for me. If you're going to have just himself, there was no Usos to come out and take on or take any kind of part of it. If you're going to have that, you need to just let him go, let him run. Some things will hit, some things won't. It's the way wrestling is. Not everything's going to hit. But overall, I thought it was a really good promo. It started the show well, early on in the show well. And it's better this week not finishing with the Punk Roman kind of thing, even though Roman wasn't there, but it was better that it was a kind of earlier part of the show.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed that. I thought it was good. He hit the kind of right notes for me. It's enough to elevate it a little bit more because, again, I do think it was going a little bit downhill with the just brawling stuff. Again, that was getting a little bit boring.
Yeah, definitely. So going over to the chat, Steve says, I think the promo was a bit of TKO, let's save face and let Punk go off at people. So, yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that there is definitely a element to that. I think that you know, they're not stupid. They see what goes out on the socials. They see what people talk about, and everyone's about TKO and how they've impacted WWE. One of the big factors is ticket prices. It's absolutely insane. I was looking potentially to try and get tickets for WWE Raw in London, but when it was like £350 for like a back seat, I'm just.
You mean you don't know someone who can get access to a box for free?
Well, there's this thing that just floats in the air that is never committed. So,
funny enough, I did speak to that person today, and unfortunately, it's going to be just me and a bunch of his mates. Unfortunately,
there we go. Right, where's the kick from podcast?
I did ask. I asked for more tickets. So, CM Punk.
Talk to me.
As we know, I'm a big fan of CM Punk. No, hang on. No, opposite of that. Not a big fan of CM Punk. And I think all the stuff that he said with regards to Roman, he said it all before. So there was nothing new there, really. Just more digs. And listen, he's got to, because as Brido says, he's on his own and Roman's not there. Roman, and I think in this build-up, Roman should be there. And it sucks that he's not, so there's not really much more that Punk can do. But Punk has... the whole reason for me that Punk's promos against Roman have fallen flat is it has just been, you're not here and your cousins help you. That's basically the basis of the whole feud as far as it is from CM Punk's view from my point of view. However, the Pat McAfee thing and the ticket prices thing was brilliant and very CM Punk. You know, the kind of things that I do like that CM Punk does from his promos. But because of the way he is so good with delivery of his promos, he could make reading a nursery rhyme sound like a killer promo. Yeah, because he's just talented in his inflection and the way he does things. But that's the only thing that's annoyed me about this build for this match is they either just closed out the show with a fight or said the same things at each other. And this goes back to the conversation we've had in our chat, which is the road to WrestleMania is far too bloody long. And I don't know how you make it shorter, because there is no way I'm starting the year without the Rumble.
You stop the Elimination Chamber being for the other title.
Agreed.
That's what you do. You make it a title match. A chamber match is, for me, far more exciting when there's a title on the line.
Yeah, they used to be title matches, didn't they?
They did, yeah, exactly. So I think, you know, having the Elimination Chamber, making it a title match, then you've got a better idea of who is champ going into WrestleMania, and then you have somebody step up, or whether it's a number one contendership or whatever it is for that championship. But I think you need to move that other story later, because what's great about winning the Rumble is you can keep going on both shows and teasing both champions.
Yeah.
I might pick you, I might pick you. At the moment, they do it for about 3 weeks, and then they have to pick.
But the thing is, what they can also do is like, because it means in January, but apart from the shit between Drew and Cody, you could have title matches at the pay-per-views in the build-up to WrestleMania, and then you could have a month-long build-up to the title match, and then it's fresh and it's good, and you get what we've got with, and we'll get to it later, but like we've got with Seth and
Gunther.
I'm really excited for that, because I know it's going to be a banger of a match, because you've got two of the best wrestlers in the world. But I like it because it's been quick, it's been fast. It's like, oh, okay, excellent. I want to see this match now. Oh, excellent. It's next week. You know? And they've just dragged it and dragged it and dragged it. And I know part of that is where Friday's completely right, which is that's the problem with part-timers.
Yeah.
However much I love Roman.
You got to find a balance, because I do feel that, you know, in this day and age, having someone who is box office, who isn't maybe there every week, is a draw. I understand that, but, you know, when we were watching when we were younger, all our top guys were there every single week, you know, and they performed every week, and they had cut great promos pretty much every week. So, yeah, it's, I think when these guys get to a certain period, I guess the other thing I think for Roman is he's not doing too much outside of WWE. I know he's done this Street Fighter Moody, but Cody did that. He was gone a few weeks, came back. He's not doing loads of stuff outside where you're like, okay, he needs time away. I don't know if it's just recovery time, or if it's just it's like, you know what, I just don't want to be there every week.
Ken, and he's had one singles match since October.
Yeah, right. He's had tag
recover
matches
properly.
and war games and all this kind of stuff.
But one singles match, and it's one singles match, war games, and the Rumble.
And he lost that, right? Because it was against Bronson.
Yeah, he lost to Bronson. I'm sure they lost the Chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
War
and
games.
then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
won the Rumble.
Yeah.
No, the Chamber, War Games. Sorry.
Yeah.
But people are talking about recovery for Roman. I understand. Personally, I've been through similar myself. I understand the recovery for the man has an illness. I get that kind of way. But if Roman Reigns is in a place where he needs that much recovery for that, Roman Reigns shouldn't be wrestling anymore. And I say that without...
Or in the main picture.
Yeah, in the main picture. Brock Lesnar's a perfect example of how you can use the big name without inserting them into a title picture just now. It's arguably the biggest draw this weekend, or the WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, agreed.
There is no title on the line. Nobody's mentioned a title. Nobody's said anything about it.
It's the match I'm looking forward to the most.
100%.
And let's segue right into that. So Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, we had an attempted contract signing, because again, we all know that they always go flawlessly in WWE, and nothing ever bad happens there. But no contracts were signed, so and maybe they'll try again next week. I don't know, but yeah, this was very simple, but it just hit again. These two facing off against each other. I normally a little bit critical of sometimes when we have the brawls where they have to be separated by loads of people and they end up in each corner and they launch each other. But when these two did it, it was just awesome. I really, really love this segment. And I know people have got issues maybe with Triple H being inserted into this, but I think it elevates it. I think it shows how important this match is, even though it's not a main event. It elevates both of those wrestlers that he needs to be there to, you know, kind of supervise this. And Brock came in, shook his hand, you know, he was like, I'm here for business, you know. But then it became personal, and I think Brock is selling this so well. So well. He's doing a great job, and I know that people had the issues when he came back. I don't. I'm not one of them. But I think he's done fantastic stuff since he's come back, and yeah, I'm really excited for this match. So, Alex, you're itching. Go on.
Yeah. I'm a big Brock guy, and I just, because I think he is. I know I wasn't watching when he was winning everything, and he was everything, which is, I know, where a lot of people have issues with him. I wasn't there for that time, so I've only seen Brock as a big draw, as that special event who turns up and everyone goes, "Oh shit, Brock's here," and I love it. And he is so generous when it comes to selling for his opponents, and he has been incredibly, considering how new to the business Oba is. By the way, Oba, not Femi. I don't like it when the announcers keep calling him Femi. No, Oba. Oba's much better. Thank you. Anyway, that's my commentary opinion to the side. However, I didn't like the segment this week. I thought, because they both turned up in sort of casual wear, we could have got them both in the ring. We could have had Oba on the mic. We haven't had Oba on the mic at all through
Next
this.
week. Next week.
And he's good on the mic.
He is.
Let the man speak. He's more than just a monster. And it's like, let him speak. Let him say. And then they can brawl afterwards. They can sign the contract and one of them can go through a table. I love that they both went through the table together and then they lobbed a chair at each other across the ring. It was like playing Pong with a fucking chair.
There was loads of stuff being thrown afterwards because they went off air and it carried on. I think steps were thrown.
Brock loves throwing steps.
Yeah, overthrew a chair outside of the ring. He threw something in and hit somebody else. Chairs were being hit by the security guards or whatever it is. But yeah, there was a lot more going on.
And I wasn't here for last week, but watching Oba throw people around was freaking terrifying. Yeah. I mean, it's not even the guy that he launched through the air. It was the two blokes that came at him and he shrugged them off and they smashed into the metal barriers on the side. I'm like, Jesus. And then what he did to, I don't know whether it was real or fake, what he did to Adam Pearce, the whole bruise on Adam Pearce. I don't know whether that was real.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
I saw socials. There was a big bruise on Adam Pearce from
right.
when he hit the thing, but I don't know if that's real or not. But yeah, no, I'm loving the build for this match. It's the match I'm most looking forward to, now closely followed by the Seth Rollins match. I just want to hear Oba talk.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the crowd reaction.
Oh yeah.
And he's the most over person in the company.
Yeah, and I love the way they're doing the cheering now. So when his music finishes, half the crowd are cheering Oba and the other half are going, oh. They do the grunt. Oh,
and they've added the grunt to the beginning of his music as well.
Yes. Yeah.
It's brilliant. There is like instant aura with that guy, and it's brilliant, and I'm here for it.
He, for me, win the Rumble next year, go on and win it at WrestleMania. That should be his journey. Lolly, anything to add about Oba and Lesnar?
I think out of all of the matches at WrestleMania, this is the one that has been, the storyline has made the most sense, has had the best pacing, and has had the best build up to it, because I really enjoyed the segment this week. Obviously, I'm not a huge Brock fan, but I'm like quite invested in it, and I think that Triple H getting involved in the last couple of weeks, because last week when he came out, I was like, oh shit, like, sorry if I can swear.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, okay. Oh shit, I was like, Triple H has dragged his bum out into the ring for this. Like, I'm now like, I'm sat. I'm ready to watch what happens with this, and I think probably now this is the match that I'm looking forward to the most at WrestleMania, and I wouldn't have said that a couple of weeks ago, I don't think. So, whoever's involved in the creative and the storyline for that are doing a great job of it.
Yeah. Brido, anything to add?
Meat.
Meat.
Big meat slapping each other. Love it. I think we spoke last week about somebody should have thrown the steps in. It happened. We got the steps in. I love it.
Yes.
One of the things I noticed about it is Paul Heyman's involved in this. He's not doing a great deal other than facial reactions. You see him in the corner and things, and it enhances it even more for me. Yeah. I love Paul Heyman. I'm a massive Paul Heyman fan. So I really like how it's going. Wally mentioned the pacing. It is spot on. We will hear from Oba hopefully before then. We don't need a lot of talking.
No.
Like I
said,
we need a little bit of maybe something, but it's, again, I will agree, it's the match I'm most looking forward to. I can't wait to see how they do this entrance. I think it will be unreal. And again, like you say, Brock is doing really, really well with this. One of the things Drew McIntyre mentioned when he got the title from Brock was giving him tips during the match as well. Even so much so that when he won the title, he was telling him where to stand and how to hold that title up, do this kind of way and do that kind of way. Brock is so experienced, and people forget that. He is very, very talented, and he's been in so many main events. He's the perfect opponent for Oba here.
Yeah, and when Oba put him down, and he said, "Put your foot on my chest." He called him in that moment to do that as well.
He's spot on, and you'll probably find a lot of that is what he's taken from Paul Heyman as well. He'll probably take a lot of that for Paul Heyman.
Yeah. He's a smart guy.
He really is. He's fantastic, and again, this is going to be an absolute brawl, and I'm so ready for it.
100%.
It'll be the first match, won't it?
No, so it's on night 2. So I think it will be the
First match of night 2.
I don't think so.
Surely that's to get the hype.
I think they do. They'll do the multi-man match on night 2 because they're starting night 1 with the multi-man match, 6-man tag match. So I think it'll be the match just before. I think they'll probably do that. Then they'll do the women's championship, and then they'll do Punk Roman. I think it'll be either directly before, but I think normally, because the crowd's going to be up for it, then you need a little bit of come down before you hit the others. Unless they just want to keep ramping it up, then it'll be second to last match. That's how I see it.
Has night 2 got the same as night 1 with the matches on ESPN?
No, I don't believe so. I know that Saturday has 2 matches on ESPN, so that is going to be the 6-man tag with I Show Speed, which we'll come on to, and then Drew versus Jacob, the unsanctioned match. Those are the 2 that are on ESPN2 app or whatever it is for free in the first hour. But yeah, they haven't confirmed the run order of the rest, but we know that that's happening. Right, let's move on. So we had Finn Balor versus JD Madonna, but actually never happened because Dominic Mysterio came out and attacked Finn. It had a little bit of a beatdown, and then we got a video package of Finn Balor saying that Dominic hasn't seen both, only seen one side of him. And we have confirmation that the Demon Finn Balor will be back at WrestleMania. They said it wasn't going to happen, and it's happening. How do we feel about the Demon returning? I wanted it. I thought it was going to be the best thing for this story rather than just them. But, Brad, I know you got thoughts on this.
Right, I am a big Finn Balor fan. Why did they have to review this?
I agree with that.
Why did they have to review this? Just have Finn getting beaten up. Just have him getting beaten up. Let JD and
just be outnumbered.
Dom and let him get beaten up, thrown about a bit. Put him through a table. Throw him through through next to the ring announcer and things like that. There is no need. I'm sorry.
And they've revealed the picture on the poster.
Yeah,
it's the Demon versus Mysterio. Yeah.
Why do we need to? It's like they can't.
Because ticket sales, my friend. If it was sold out,
the Demon's not going to sell more tickets.
You may be surprised.
The Demon is no. I'm sorry.
You might get some of the Irish fans heading over there now. I don't know.
It's not gonna. with first of all, it should be fucking sold out by now. It's not sold out because the ticket prices are too high. That's the ticket sales problem.
And there is a theory behind that. So basically, what Tico have done, they've increased ticket prices throughout them being on sale. So I think what they're doing now is they're going to be like, off the back of what Punk has said, they're going to then bring the price back down to pretty much where they originally were.
Good.
To some people it is. To some people it is. Because if they've logged on a couple of weeks ago and said, it's £800, they log on this week and it's £500. I'm like, oh my God, the ticket prices have gone down. It'll all depend on the audience.
If the ticket prices were the correct prices, it had sold out on day one.
I agree with that. Yeah, they are too high.
And
front row seats are like $30,000 or something ridiculous.
It is pure greed.
And 100%.
They think we're blind and they think we're stupid, that we don't see that it's just them trying to milk it for all it's worth. I mean, Vegas is terrible for this stuff anyway. I mean, F1 Grand Prix tickets are, again, crazy money for the Vegas Grand Prix because they just seem to think people want... It's expensive enough to go to Vegas, just to stay in a hotel, because obviously all those prices are massively elevated. So it becomes a thing for the super rich, and that's not what wrestling's about. Wrestling is about families going out to go watch some entertainment. That's what wrestling's about, and these ticket prices are not about families.
Yeah, 100%. Lolly, do you know much about Demon Finn Balor?
I know absolutely nothing about Demon Finn Balor, so
You've got to stop saying that, or Neil's going to send you more videos to watch.
I know. I haven't even got through like 5% of the other videos that he's sent me. So the only thing that I will agree with is like they just don't seem to have any surprises anymore. And I understand they can't help it if things get leaked from behind the scenes, but they've bloody announced it themselves.
Everything.
Like, just have some surprises, please. Like, don't say there's going to be surprises and then go, oh, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, we want another Hardy Boys moment, you know, when they returned
Yeah.
to WrestleMania, and it was just like, oh my God. But yeah, everything's laid out there because it's like they want to build on the social media. They want to get the eyes on the product, and they need to push the ticket sales. And they're just like, here's everything we're doing. Look.
But they can do it because they managed to keep Seth Rollins' injury a secret.
Yeah.
So they can do it. So why
they want
don't
to.
they do it? It's and I think actually if we had more storylines that were hidden like that with Seth, like similar to Seth Rollins' injury, I think the product would be a lot more interesting because it's just like, oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I wonder what that's going to look like next week when that does happen. Like they've lost sight of what it is actually supposed to be about, which is exactly what Alex said it is. It's about families and entertainment and suspending reality for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Right. So we had Austin Theory versus LA Knight. So iShow Speed was obviously there. He tried to find Danhausen at the beginning of the show, which I loved, and he tried to get him to uncurse him, but he wanted his mansion, and that was a no-go. And so the Vision like, come with us, don't worry, we're going to protect you. And shenanigans ensued. iShow Speed ended up going into LA Knight. Now, he was definitely pushed. And I tried to see, and I thought maybe it was Logan Paul who actually pushed him, but it's not like he just ran.
They replayed it later in the night, and it shows a very clear push.
Yeah,
Logan launched him. To be fair,
yeah, absolutely.
The thing I find funny about it is obviously they're mates in real life.
Yes.
So I do find this whole thing very funny, and obviously, LA Knight went to Show's house.
Yeah,
during a live stream and through the computer. It was hilarious.
And then iShow Speed showed up at a football game, and he had his arm in a strap and a black eye. Total kayfabe. It was brilliant. And he said, this guy broke into my house, and and he mentioned it. He's keeping it strong. Much props to him.
And do you know what? I like iShow Speed. I think he's funny. He gets it. He's athletic. I don't need him in a match. I don't need.
He's been training with Orton,
and that's brilliant. And because I've seen the video of him on YouTube
going through,
which is great. But we've got Jelly Roll, which is a whole another thing that I
Jelly Roll featuring SmackDown.
I can't even. But iShow Speed he's not the build. He's a great thing, to get the spear in the Rumble and to get annihilated when he's wearing the Prime thing. I don't need him in a match with the Usos and LA Knight. It's not necessary. It's not needed.
It's strange
not
how
going
they
to
came
sell
up
more
with
tickets.
This. Yeah, and I guess they've put the titles on the bad guys going into it. I think that makes sense, even though the tag titles aren't on the line.
I think they did a great job with the titles, by the way. When they won the titles, I think all their promo after
all the promo stuff,
they did a really good job. Again, I know people don't like Logan Paul. As a wrestler, I think he's brilliant. He gets it. He understands the business. He's great in the ring. He's great at promos. He understands all the post-show stuff. And I can't not like him on that side of things.
Yeah,
I can suspend my disbelief about the human being.
Yeah, and I got a feel for iShow Speed because it's like he does seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's like the Usos and LA Knight just want to take out this guy who can't defend himself, and it's like, hang on, you're the good guys, and you want to beat up this little guy? I don't understand how is this working? Lolly, what do you make of this and this new 6-man tag that was announced?
I'm sort of a bit on the fence with it, to be honest. I don't really know how to feel. Like, I'll be honest, if I'm a bit tired by the time I get to it, I'll probably just fast forward it.
It's the first match of night one.
Oh, I might. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes then. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm not enthralled by this whole storyline, if I'm honest. And I also agree with like, how many celebrities do we need to get involved? Because like Brido says, I don't mind celebrities getting involved, but it has to be the right reason, the right storyline for them to get involved.
Yes.
Like those positions or that placement could be used for bringing somebody coming up through the ranks, somebody in an NXT or AAA or whatever, they could take those places rather than it being a celebrity that's going to hop in, hop out. It could be used for somebody who's actually going to be a regular at some point down the line.
Yeah.
Just a really small point to add to what Lolly said is we're talking about bringing people in that are actual wrestlers that actually deserve to be there. WrestleMania is the biggest payday of the year for every single wrestler. So your whole point is you have as many wrestlers involved in WrestleMania as possible so they can get their payday, because that's the whole thing behind it. That's why we used to have the Andre the Giant Memorial as part of the show, because they can get 30 wrestlers to get their WrestleMania moment. And that's kind of lost now because it's now just a bunch of big matches.
Yeah, and this happens on SmackDown the night before, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Why could they not have just had the tag title match?
Yeah, I don't understand that. You could have iShow Speed as guest
because
referee.
they want LA Knight on the card.
And that's it. That's it. LA Knight didn't have a match, and this is the only way they could really make it work, because they've got quite a few single matches as it is. And I think you're right. I think that is the only way that they could try and fit everybody in.
This is again because of the Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker injuries.
Yes.
Unfortunately, those two injuries and the Seth injury just has caused a massive problem with WrestleMania. So it's not entirely the booking's fault, but they've had enough time, because the road to WrestleMania is so long, to figure it out, and they maybe haven't figured it out long enough, or they've spent too long waiting to see if one or three of those guys will come back.
Yeah, I think it would have been the Vision. Well, saying that, they have led up with this Vision LA Knight Uso thing for quite a while, so it probably just wouldn't have been iShow Speed. It would have been like Bronson Reed in there, because Bron Breakker would have originally fought Seth. But yeah, so this comes on to something else. So originally we thought, okay, Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. That's probably going to be something that happens at WrestleMania, but okay, Rey's injured. That's not going to happen now. So there's no like career on the line type of thing. Rey Mysterio shows up this week and says, I'm going to be in the Intercontinental title ladder match. Hold on. Did we just completely misread this? And it's going to be Gunther. I mean, what was the plan? I'm so confused right now about what happened, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it'll be great. I think, Ray still got it, and hopefully he'll have a great WrestleMania moment, but that was a surprise this week. Friday, with thoughts?
Again, taken by surprise. I'm actually quite happy with it. The more people were going on about Gunther retiring people, the more it kind of lost its kind of appeal for me. Not retiring anybody else, just retiring Ray. I'm quite happy he's in the ladder match. This actually may be his last match for me. I don't know if he will keep going after this, unless it's something to do with Dom.
I would see Dom retiring him. If he's going to have a retirement match, that'd be the way to go. Put over his son.
I don't see it going further and going down the Gunther route anymore.
Yeah,
like that. I don't see that.
Well, what if Ray was to actually win the Intercontinental Championship, and then Dom goes after Ray for it? They have a match for it, and he has to put his career on the line as well. Yeah.
I'm really happy he's involved. That match is going to be crazy. As Javon Evans right away, can't wait to see what happens with that.
Yeah, someone's getting hurt.
Someone's getting hurt. I think more than one. I think about 3 or 4 of them are going to be limping away from it.
I know we wanted this for the women's tag match, but why isn't this a TLC match?
It could have been a full TLC match. I agree. I'm disappointed that we don't have like Chad Gable in there or Ludwig Kaiser. I think that would have elevated it even more. But Ray being in there, that's kind of a win. That works. Right. So then, as David mentioned, we're going to move on to that. So Stephanie Vaquer gave Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez third eyes. They were having a conversation backstage, and she came in absolutely nailed Liv at the back of the head, and they head-butted Liv and Roxanne really badly. Threw her into a TV. Looked fantastic. But have you all seen the pictures of Liv? And Roxanne's not that much better. Oh, 100%.
Because I have seen a AI response from Liv.
Oh, right. Okay. No, she's posted
definitely
it.
Wasn't her.
No, she posted it on her socials with Raquel there and JD McDonald at the back just laughing and stuff.
I just wasn't certain if it was real or fake or not. But because it's so enormous. I mean, how is she not concussed?
Yeah, I mean,
with a bump that big.
Raquel had one not too long ago, just a few weeks ago. She had a big bump on the head, I think, as well, when she got hit. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, yeah, Steve said, "Did you not hear the thud?" Yeah, it was nasty. And Roxanne did not move. You know, she actually tried to roll out of the picture, I think, because she was just like really hurt, and like Liv was just like covering her face because she was just like, "Yeah, this is not normal." But yeah, if you haven't seen it, go over to my TikTok channel. You'll see the pictures I posted up on there. It's quite something. And again, a really nice, easy, slow build and a match I'm really looking forward to. There's good stuff. Talking about a little bit of change of pace, Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. So AJ was having an interview with Michael Cole. Becky Lynch came in and interrupted. A little fresh take, a little bit of a calmer Becky. I like this. I don't like the screaming, shouting, whining Becky, the pantomime Becky. I thought this was a lot more calculated and better. Lottie, what did you think of this segment?
I quite liked this segment. I also really enjoyed AJ Lee's promo in this because usually I find her promos sometimes almost a little bit too practiced in a way, or just like a little bit too rehearsed. Whereas this one felt a bit more realistic. It felt a lot more personal, especially towards the end when she was saying that her daughter's favourite wrestler is AJ Lee. I was like, oh, okay. You're probably going to pay for that at some point, AJ. And we're going to see that probably at WrestleMania.
Hasn't she said that like 3 times, though? That's not a new line.
It was last week as well.
I don't remember it.
Becky admitted that her daughter said that she liked AJ Lee, and then it's rolled on.
But yeah, I think it was a good one. Like you said, I enjoyed Becky being a bit calmer because she's been a bit het up for the last 3 or 4 weeks. That doesn't seem becoming of somebody who's meant to be the best women's wrestler that everybody talks about. Sports Illustrated talks about it, that kind of thing. But so we'll see how that goes.
But isn't that the ego monster that she is what dragged that forward? And I love Becky. I'm such a big fan of Becky's because she has levels, and she goes up and she goes down, and she goes up and she goes down, and she captures you. It's not always the same thing from her, so you don't know which Becky. It's almost like bipolar Becky, and you don't know which side of Becky you're going to get. And I love it, and I think she is brilliant. I think she is probably the best female on the roster. Period. Okay, is she the best in the ring? Probably not, but total package, Becky's above everybody else, and it's almost like the husband that she's married to, who's also levels above.
Yeah, she's the greatest of all time. She's saying it. Other people are saying it. It's what's happening. Brido, you're saying it as well. You love Becky, don't you?
I love Becky. She also she was on the socials hunting down Danhausen to curse AJ Lee.
Yes.
She was trying to trade a T-shirt, I think, for him. Didn't quite work, but the man's inserting himself into every storyline just now. To be honest.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's talk about Danhausen because I didn't know who he was coming into this. He was revealed out of this box at the PLE, and I'm just like, who's this guy? Why am I supposed to care? I care so much. He is just awesome. And he, again, was the best thing on SmackDown this week. So he came over to the Miz and Kit and said, look, I can uncurse you. I'll come down to the ring with you. They're like, no, not interested. Get lost. So they had a tag match. Kit Wilson and the Miz for the tag championships against Damian Priest and R-Truth. Danhausen comes down to the ring, tries to get the Miz to tag him in. Won't have it. R-Truth is being R-Truth. He tags him in. Danhausen's in, and the Miz tries to attack Danhausen, and he's like, you are cursed. The Miz throws the referee into the way, and we think, okay, the ref is cursed maybe. We get to a point where the Miz is pinning, I think it's R-Truth, 1, 2, and then the referee's arm cramps up and he can't hit the 3 count. It was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I was laughing so hard. And when the Miz got him in the move to try and take him down, the lights went out and he's at the end of the ramp. He's just like, oh yes, I have escaped.
It's proper indie stuff.
Oh, it's
like
fantastic.
when you see the indie guys wrestle nobody and that kind of stuff. Run around with the grenade and that kind of stuff. It's that, and I've always wanted to see that actually finally be implemented in WWE in a serious manner. And I love Danhausen.
He's so good. He
So
is
refreshing.
So good.
Something different.
100%. And the fact that there's a backstage segment where the referee's like in the medical room and Danhausen comes in. He's like, look, I'm sorry. I was like, uncurse you. And he's like, oh, that's great. That's much better. Thank you. Just Lolly, talk to me about Danhausen. I know you're a huge fan.
Oh, I just love Danhausen. He's brilliant. I think I've said it before. He's just like a breath of fresh air, because I think what was happening was that a lot of the storylines were like quite serious.
Yeah.
And he just brings that comedic value that I think we all kind of need a little bit to uplift it. And like you say, he's sort of starting to insert himself into all of the different storylines, but it all kind of makes sense that he's inserted himself in all of the different storylines. It's just like, well, yeah, of course, naturally, why would he not?
Yeah.
And I just think it's such a clever gimmick. I just think he's nailed that character, and every time he's on the screen, it's the bit that I pay the most attention to at the moment, and I just want to know what's going to happen next, who's going to accidentally get cursed, who's going to, what's he going to come up. I just love Danhausen. Just Danhausen. Danhausen.
And it's great for the kids as well, because obviously I watch sometimes with my kids, and my kids love it. Literally spend my time with them trying to get them to get the cast. I'm trying to get them to get it right. It's really funny because they can't get it right. If they're not doing that, they're marching around the house like Oba. So
awesome, love that. Absolutely love that. Right, what else are we going to talk about? So Sami Zayn had another match with Carmelo Hayes and beat him. That happened. Trick Williams apparently is friends with this Grammy rapper Lil Yachty. I don't know who he is. I know he's appeared on WWE before. He's invited to join at WrestleMania. I know, so old. Yeah, I don't care about this match. I really feel for Carmelo Hayes not getting on the card. I thought maybe they might turn it and make it into a triple threat. And it's like, no, that's not happening.
I'd have cared way more if it was Carmelo and Trick. Because they actually have fucking history.
They have history on NXT, 100%. Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about this? No. Okay, we're good. We'll move on. We've had some matches leading up to the tag matches. We had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair defeat Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. We had Bayley trip over in the ring and had to do her little piece again. That was quite entertaining. And Michael Cole, their interaction was really quite nice. She defeated Lash Legend. And then, this is the other match I don't really care for. Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. So Rhea beat Michin on SmackDown, and then it was Rhea and Io versus Michin and B-Fab. They won, but then obviously Io got taken out with the kendo sticks and stuff by Jade Cargill, because it's supposed to make Rhea care more about the situation. This is just so messy. I do not like the build up to this at all. Brido, how are you feeling about it?
I'm still on the train that something happens between Rhea and Io and there's a turn. Mm-hmm. It's either Io costs Rhea and Rhea turns on Io, or other way about. Again, this is build up done badly. I don't know if there's a massive amount of experience apart from Rhea. I don't know. And again, did Rhea really need this year? I did say that Triple H would go with the easy option and this lazy option and later win the Chamber. It's one of the few things I did predict. Yeah. I just don't think this match was needed. There could have been somebody else involved here. And I don't actually think I think it's too soon for Jade as well. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a problem. They were going to keep it on Jade until Mania, and they had to pick the best person to help her through the match. But the build-up is... Because Rhea's not the greatest at promos either. Do you know what I mean? So she's great in the ring, but her promos aren't great. So the two of them together, you needed a stronger promo. And to be honest, Charlotte Flair would have carried this a lot better.
I agree.
But she was in the title picture last year, and I understand that. People would have hated on her even more, where she's kind of in a good place with the fans at the moment. Yep. So... that wouldn't have made much sense, but yeah, it's this is a difficult one. Go on, Alex.
I think what they've tried to do, and it just hasn't worked. And I put the blame on Rhea for this. Is they've gone right. Well, we need to get Jade to Mania the Jade Rhea match will be a good match because it will be a good brawl. I think the match will be fine. It's not going to be a barn burner. It's not going to be a match of the night, but it'll be the match will be fine. There won't be a problem in the match. I just don't think they expected the build-up to be so bad. I think they've panic added B-Fab and Michin to give Jade more depth.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it's an interesting turn, and it was something that no one expected to happen because it made no sense. But Rhea hasn't carried this like you would expect her to.
Yes.
This has not been a good advert for Rhea can carry the company on her back. And I'm bored of the love affair between Rhea and Io.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a turn, the turn has to be Rhea. Rhea is a better baddie than she is a goodie, and nobody wants to boo Io Sky. And it needs to go to SummerSlam where Rhea has turned on Io, and Rhea can try and get her win over Io, which she doesn't get. I think for her to never get the win over Io is brilliant, especially because even Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez have wins over Io Sky.
Yeah. No, 100%. It is what it is. However, someone who did deliver a great promo was Asuka. She delivered a great promo video package against Io and saying that, she paved the way for her to join, and then she took advantage of her, and I thought it was a really great thing. It's like, that's the match we should be having at WrestleMania. They could have lent into this a lot better and a lot earlier, because at the moment Io's not on the card, which is kind of crazy because
it'll be her and Asuka.
Well, it's not been announced yet. Maybe they might push it next week.
With that promo we had from Asuka,
the two cards have been finalized, so unless they manage to the last minute shoehorn in, but we have 7 matches both nights now, so I don't see it happening.
7 matches.
Yeah.
I'm planning on watching this on the plane on the way back.
Yeah,
I'll go
through the full cards in a minute, but because in Unreal, Triple H was like, if I'm going to take anyone to build a new company, it'd be Io Sky. And it's like, and now she's not even at Romania. It's mad. They should have kept her and Rhea in the tag division and just kept them there. So it was crazy. What else we had? We had Uncle Howie to beat Tama Tonga. He got his lantern back. Yay. And then Aleister Black defeated Matt Cardona. Yay. Anything on either of those matches? I don't care right now.
Listen, I think they were fine matches. They're just fillers. I'm glad the whole lantern thing is over, and we're going to get Tama Tonga versus Solo, which should be good.
Yeah. Tama's been doing a lot of stuff on his socials recently, actually. I know he got fined for one of the videos he posted, but
did he?
Yeah, he posted a video like prior to SmackDown, and he had like the arena and all the wrestlers there, like mingling and talking pre-show, and he got a big fine for it apparently. So.
Oops.
But yeah, he does a lot of his own stuff where he's talking about his workout and his gym routine and all that kind of stuff. He's actually quite active on TikTok now. He's worth a follow.
But yeah, and it's like Aleister Black confuses me because
I've never been a fan.
But he's so talented.
Yeah.
And him and Zelina, obviously being married, they've got really great chemistry, and there's a real place for them to be a big bad in something. But it's like they can't figure out where they get. And that was the whole problem with Aleister Black before.
They just swapped him with Karrion Kross. That's how I feel. They just put him into that storyline. And
some of the stuff Karrion Kross is doing at the moment on the indies is fucking fire.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah. He's a mega promo. I mean, I'm not quite certain what he's like in the ring because I don't see him enough in the ring. And whenever he does, he just loses in 4 seconds. But, that was a fumble as far as I'm concerned. But I believe there's something that can be done with Aleister Black, but no one can figure it out.
Yeah. Right, okay, so I'm just going to go through the cards as they've been announced. So on night 1, we have the 6-man tag. We have LA Knight and the Usos versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed. We then have Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in the unsanctioned match. Then we have the WWE Women's Tag match. It's a fatal 4-way. So we got Charlotte and Alexa. We have Irresistible Forces. We have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria and the Bella Twins. Then we have the Intercontinental Championship match, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. We have Seth Rollins versus Gunther, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer, and then, oh my God, even Pat's on the title card. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. That winds me up. That's shocking. So that's night 1. And then night 2, we have the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, 6-pack match. We've got JD Madonna, Dragon Lee, Penta, Siobhan Evans, Rey Mysterio, and Rusev. Then we have, in the first hour on ESPN, Brock versus Oba. So it's either going to be the first or probably the second match. So there's like the night 1, you're going to have the six-person match, followed by Drew and Jacob. Then on night 2, you're going to have the ladder match followed by Oba, Femi, and Lesnar. Again, you get all eyes on this. So basically, people can get the first hour for free on ESPN. Then we're going to have Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, because, they're going to make people pay for that, apparently. And then we've got Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Then we have Finn versus Dom. And then we have Punk versus Reigns. So that is night 2. How are you guys feeling about the card in general now? So we're there, the matches are locked in, 7 matches per night. How are we feeling?
I'll go first then. I'll go on then. Go on, Brado. Go on, Brado.
Night 2, personally, I think is stronger. I'm a little bit shocked with the Brock Lesnar thing. I kind of get it with from a business kind of standpoint. I kind of get it. ESPN putting that there. I personally would have liked it later for the Oba entrance, but I'm not going to let that take away my excitement for this match. That's going to personally still be the thing I'm looking forward to most for the whole weekend. It is what it is. As much as we may have some problems with creative, well, some has probably been kind. We've got these matches set out now. I am excited. Night 1 does look better than I thought it was going to be. It has improved, because even with the poorer SmackDown last week, I still think the match is there and the talent is there to make it a good night. Again, I am in the same boat as you, though. That Pat McAfee being on the photo really does infuriate me as well. I just don't click with Pat McAfee at all.
I love him on the mic because I think he's a great colour commentator with Michael Carr. I really enjoy that. But
I preferred Corey, but that's just me.
I have really enjoyed Corey. I think Corey's very intelligent and he really knows his stuff. It's a different style completely, but yeah. Lolly, how are we feeling about the card?
I think probably the second night is the better night. I'm still very anti WrestleMania over 2 nights, so that just kind of colours my opinion on it, to be honest. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. The ESPN one is interesting because I think, was it a couple of weeks ago that, was it ESPN that they had to deal with and ESPN weren't very happy? Was that, or am I making it up? I can't remember.
It's kind of all over the place at the moment. So ESPN do the PLEs because they took over from Peacock. And yeah, I don't know, because Raw is obviously on Netflix and then SmackDown is still on, is it still on USA?
I think so.
Over there.
So I remember reading that ESPN weren't very happy with the amount of viewers they were getting on the PLEs. So I wonder if that's why they've put the Brock Oba Femi match on the ESPN one, to probably try and up the viewers on that particular.
And that's why you're probably getting stuff like Pat on there, because he does the football stuff, and that links in with ESPN and all the stuff the sports stuff that they do. So I can understand their thought process in trying to get eyes on the product. But at this point, from where we were at WrestleMania 39 and 40, it doesn't feel the same. And I know there's a huge storyline. I know you can't repeat that. The Bloodline was going on for 4 years. Cody's story was 2 years in the making. There's so many things that had to align to make that work. And I understand that. But I think from a creative point of view, they could be doing better. You just don't know how much influence the TKO group directors and ESPN and all these other people are having on the creative side. I think, Unreal only gives us a very small insight into that.
Yeah.
Right, guys, that is about it for this week. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go? No? Not that you can remember it anyway. Right. So, Brido, where can people find you?
The usual TikTok, Belt Up Brido, nonsense, spelt chat, collectibles. Every now and again you'll find me on lives. Minimal content on Instagram and Facebook at the moment. I only just started those a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, mostly TikTok, guys. Thanks.
Cool. And Lolly, where can we find you?
You can find me majority on TikTok. I do have Instagram, but I'm useless at updating it. So find me more on TikTok for weekly rambles, inspiration, comparisons, and potentially long form content on medium.com at the same username if it's on that side. I don't know if it's that side or that side.
I always get confused because I think it mirrors after the fact. So yeah, just it's along the bottom.
Along here
Along the
somewhere.
bottom.
Yeah.
I do a nice little graphic pop-up on the actual video as well, so you get a nice little pop-up. But yeah, okay, thank you very much. And Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me on all the socials. It's all, again, it's what we're doing. This one there, there we go.
Yeah,
it's there. On Instagram, to TikTok, and all those. Also got my YouTube channel, which is about motorsport. So I do my karting. I'm working on a video right now, which was at Daytona Milton Keynes this week. And before that, I had a whole big event at the new Silverstone kart track. So if you're interested in doing a bit of karting and you want to go to one of the best tracks in the world as a Grand Prix circuit, which also has the most incredible kart circuit, which is brand spanking new. Everything's great. The team over at Silverstone are amazing. Go watch that video and get an idea of the chaos that can be caused there. And if you like F1, you can also sometimes find me on Missed Apex podcast as well, which you can find wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, awesome. And well, thank you very much for joining us. We are Wrestling is Awesome. You can find us on YouTube at Wrestling is Awesome. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe and that bell to get notified. You can find us here on TikTok, again, at Wrestling is Awesome. And we kind of post some stuff on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, TikTok and YouTube are the two main places we are at. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And you will find a QR code somewhere. So on TikTok, you'll find a QR code up here on the screen. We are a WWE affiliate. So if you use that link, if you're purchasing anything from WWE, that will support our show. So we would really, really appreciate that. I've got popping up the code on our screen here now as well, so you'll be able to scan that. If you're watching on your phone, it makes it difficult because then you can't scan the code with your phone. So you need to be watching this on your TV or your PC, and then or come back later and watch it on your laptop and then scan the QR code. But the link is also in the description. That's easier. Just go to the link. The link is there. Right, that's it. Thank you very much, guys. So until next week, only less than 2 weeks to WrestleMania now? It's heating up. So we'll see what happens this week on SmackDown and Raw. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Until next time, peace out.
Peace.